Go ahead. What's your card, Sarah S. Dog?
They ask you to split the bill on a first date.
That's fine.
What a Chad, for sure.
No.
I think that's
Let's
fine.
start over here. Go ahead.
What was the question?
They asked us to
Bruv,
split the bill
put the
on
cup
first
down.
date.
Put the cup down.
Sorry, I fidget a lot. I think the guy should pay for the bill. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I think it's fair if you split it. I mean,
Okay.
No.
Fair. Valid.
Well, I guess,
Valid.
like, I've had this discussion with friends, and sometimes it's like who asked
Sure.
the person to go on the date, but then again, also I'm someone like,
Who never asks.
well, that's true, but I'm someone who doesn't mind like splitting, just because for me that's not a big deal. I'm someone that actually I don't like when people pay for me, and that's just like even growing up. I think like my parents taught me to be very independent, so I honestly, even when like guys are trying to be nice, I'm like I'm just gonna pay for my own. Like sometimes I'll let them, or even I will be one to pay for things, because for me it is honestly like not that deep in a sense.
Sure. Nicolette.
I would laugh in his face, and then I would split the bill with him, and then I would never talk to him again. Because I don't ask people out on dates. So, like, that means, like, they asked me to go out, you know?
So you would laugh in his face. You'd pay the whole thing and never talk to
No,
him
I would
again.
not pay the whole thing. I would pay my half.
Oh, you'd pay your half. Okay.
Yeah. And I'd be like, itemize it.
The fuck? But that would be a deal breaker if
Yeah, that's so, like, tacky, so embarrassing for them.
tacky. It's tacky.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like
I mean-
invite a girl out on a date and they'd be like, all right, like, we're going to split the bill.
I mean,
There are such opposite answers here. Like, what is a guy supposed to do?
well, let's keep going around the table. Give everyone a chance to answer.
So,
Go ahead.
Honestly, okay, so it's not like a deal breaker, but I say 99% of the time I would want the guy to pay for the date because that shows he's interested. He doesn't have to be like financially stable, but I would say like, okay, like if it's your first date with me and the vibe is good, you know, like if it was a one-time thing, we could split the bill, but I would prefer a guy like pay. So
You said that you want the guy to pay. That way, you know he's interested.
okay, yes, but also like a guy will spoil a girl when he's really into her. And it doesn't always have to be money. It can be flowers, it could be compliments, whatever, but I feel like it's better when the guy pays for the date.
I mean, couldn't you make the argument that it actually would show, in terms of if you compared men and women, if a woman paid for the date, that would actually show a much greater enthusiasm.
Well, true, but
Can
I
you
would
stop
also
fidgeting
feel,
with that?
I would also feel weird like if I paid for the date, I don't want to feel like I'm too independent. Like I want a guy to be in control and like pay for the date.
Oh, okay. Sarah, what about you?
I mean, I would prefer if someone paid. Yeah, I would kind of, depending on like how much money he has, like it would just show some level of like investment. Like he can't take, it's also like someone can't take like tons of people out to dinner. So like that would show that maybe they're not dating like tons of, well, if someone has enough money, they could. But yeah, basically it would be a plus, but not a deal breaker.
It would be a plus, but not a deal breaker. Okay. Would it be like negative points, though, if he wanted to split?
No, as long as it's like a place that we both agreed on, like
Sure.
equally. It's not like him making the entire plan and then choosing what I order too and then expecting me to pay for it. That would make me mad. But if it's like we come to the decision together where we're going and I get to like choose what I want, then I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mary?
I think that if a guy is interested in a sincere way and is looking for something serious, he will pay. And most guys aren't looking for something serious these days, so they don't.
I don't think a guy paying on a date is a very good metric for if he's serious or not.
I
True,
think it
because
is.
money's not everything, but it just tends to be chivalrous and gentleman, like, oh, hold the door open. so you pay for
Chivalry.
your
Did you just say
dinner.
chivalry?
Honey.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Whatever you call it, you know.
So what is chivalry? Like being a gentleman,
Yeah.
traditional gender roles.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like LARPing as a provider. You're supposed to want to do that if you're a man.
Not in today's day and age. I think it's
I mean,
a no.
no, I'm not saying like all of these chicks that you go out with from a dating app are worth, the trouble. But if you're going out with someone that you think might be, then you need to show the initiative in that way. Absolutely.
Shouldn't the girl pay in those circumstances?
In what circumstance?
Because here's the thing, like a lot of men have had the experience or have heard about, for example, foodie calls, where a girl goes on a date. Rachel's laughing
I've heard
because she's
about
done that shit.
Whoa, pause. No, I haven't.
Admit it.
I always either split, or if they offer to pay, I'll be like, no, let me pay. But
Okay.
if they really want to pay,
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's this term called foodie call where it's kind of derived from booty call, where women will go on dates to get a free meal. Additionally, women will go on a date for experience or just because they're bored. I guess I'll go on a date with him, not doing anything else. Sure, why not? Whereas men, if they're going on a date with you, they have we know ahead of time, like, we're interested. Whereas women, when they go on a date, they're like, let me feel it out. I need to decide, blah, blah, blah. So there's foodie calls, and then there's also just wanting a free experience. Maybe some guys are being fucking extra and taking you to the zoo and shit, taking you to play mini golf, taking you to a concert, spending $50, $100, $200 on the first date. So there's that component to it. Whereas if a guy goes on a date with you, it's pretty clear cut he's interested in you. He's not going on the date just to get some extraneous benefit like a free meal or like to go to a concert with you. Like, he wants to, at the very least, sleep with you. At the very least, and having sex with someone is a equal value exchange. You're both participating in that. Whereas a guy paying for you on a date, that's a one directional value exchange. He's paying money. You're not paying money. He's
What you're
lost.
doing is like you're giving him your time and also your company. So if you're a nice, sweet,
They're giving their
feminine,
time.
pleasant woman, you are providing him
So
the
it's
company of
I
a
think from
sweet
But
and
they're
pleasant.
giving their time too.
Good
One.
point, Rachel.
I think from the get-go, as long as you're honest with the person, be like, you should be
you
honest.
go.
Like, hey, if you're just coming for a free meal, then say that. If you're going to actually be interested and be on a date, make sure you tell them ahead of time. I
Yo,
feel like.
Carson, go to Google, search for woman who went on 6 days a week to save on her grocery bill.
That is
I
she
believe
should
that.
she should at least tell him.
I mean,
to
if
be
she's
honest,
doing that,
you
she's
know.
probably fat. So not really
Well, in any case, look,
dateable.
men are kind of waking up to the fact that women are going on also it's just, and I know some of you are young, so maybe you haven't gone